Imagine standing beneath a 59-story skyscraper in the heart of New York City, completely unaware that at any moment a strong gust of wind could send it crashing down like a house of cards. What if we told you that this nearly happened, and the only reason it didn't was because one man had the courage to come clean? This is the true story of Citicorp Center. A story hidden from the public, buried under steel and concrete, and almost lost to history. Act 1. The flawed design. It all started with a simple oversight in structural engineering. The Citicorp Center, completed in 1977, had a unique design. The building stood on stilts, columns placed not at the corners, but in the middle of each side, to accommodate a church beneath it. To support this unusual structure, the building used chevron-style braces, diagonal steel beams meant to help stabilize against wind loads. But here's the shocking part. The engineers only calculated for winds hitting the building straight on, not for corner or quartering winds, which are much more dangerous. When engineer William LeMessurier revisited the calculations, something horrifying emerged. One particular brace under quartering winds experienced a 295-ton tension force, more than double the original estimate. And what held these massive braces together? Just 4 bolts. Act 2. The panic sets in. Standard practice would have required 10 to 14 bolts at that joint. But the braces were treated as minor structural elements, and so the safety factors were overlooked. Even worse, the gravity load was underestimated, further skewing the calculations. With accurate numbers, LeMessurier realized that if a storm hit, the building could collapse, floor by floor, joint by joint, starting from the 30th floor, which turned out to be the weakest point. He checked historical weather data. A storm strong enough to destroy the building hit New York every 67 years on average, but only if the tuned mass damper on top was working. If power went out, even a 5-minute storm with winds at 110 km/h could level it. Just a year earlier, Hurricane Belle had brought those very winds to the city. Act 3. A life or death decision. Faced with the unthinkable, LeMessurier panicked. In a later interview, he admitted considering driving his car into a bridge just to escape the pressure. But then he remembered his responsibility. Thousands of lives were at stake. He could stay silent. No one knew yet, except wind expert Alan Davenport. Or he could do the right thing. He chose to act. LeMessurier informed the architect and Citicorp's leadership. Emergency generators were installed to keep the tuned mass damper running in a blackout. And repairs began under a secret name, Project Serene, a calm name for a desperate mission. Act 4. The Midnight Fix. Every night after office workers left, welders moved in. They tore off sheetrock, exposed the braces, and welded 5-centimeter thick, 2-meter-long steel plates, like band-aids, onto over 200 vulnerable joints. By morning, the walls were sealed back up, hiding the crisis. But hurricane season was approaching fast. Repairs wouldn't finish in time. Citicorp quietly partnered with the Red Cross. A 10-block evacuation plan was drafted just in case. Thousands of people were at risk. If the Citicorp building fell, it could trigger a domino collapse, wiping out entire city blocks. The hurricane that almost hit then came Hurricane Ella. In late August, as repairs were halfway done, Ella formed in the Caribbean. It headed toward New York with winds at 200 km/h. Police prepared for evacuation. LeMessurier braced for the worst. But at the very last moment, Ella turned away, sparing New York. It hit Canada instead with even stronger winds, 225 km/h. That day, LeMessurier described the New York sky as the most beautiful he had ever seen. He knew they had dodged a bullet. Act 6. A lucky silence. On August 8th, Citicorp issued a vague public statement about routine maintenance. Newspapers began sniffing around. The New York Times tried to call LeMessurier, but fate had one last card to play. A newspaper strike shut down every major outlet in New York. A full press blackout allowed the team to finish the repairs in silence. By October, the building was safe. No one died. No lawsuits, no disaster. But it was close, terrifyingly close. Conclusion, legacy and lesson. Messurier's mistake nearly became one of the worst engineering disasters in modern history. But his courage to come forward turned it into a legendary act of professional ethics. He once said, "Ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is the right thing to do." And that's exactly what he did. Today, the Citicorp Center still stands tall, not just as a marvel of architecture, but as a monument to integrity. Outro. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. What would you have done in LeMessurier's place? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, behind every structure is a story, and sometimes it's the untold